They told her to just adopt. But Jennifer Aniston finally said out loud why that was never her path.
I love your confidence.
For 20 years, strangers decided what Jennifer Aniston should do with a life they don't live.
Do you want a minute? We don't have to talk about...
No, I'm sorry, I just started thinking about...
Then, in one calm conversation, she said the quiet part out loud: adoption was never for me. On Armchair Expert, she didn't hedge, didn't pitch a warm PR sentence to soften the edges. She simply told the truth. She had wanted her own DNA in a little person. Selfish or not, she refused to wear that label for you. That single statement sliced through decades of speculation and forced a bigger conversation. What happens when a woman's honest no collides with the world's favorite imaginary yes? And she said something else most people don't grasp until they're standing in the doctor's office under fluorescent lights. Sometimes biology closes the door for you. There comes a point when it's out of your control. When the best experts have tried, when you've tried, and the only thing left is hearing, that's it. If you came of age on supermarket checkout lines, you've seen the covers. Jen's baby at 45, rumors of IVF, miracle bump? Month after month, year after year, a tabloid carousel insisted that parenthood would be the bow that tied up Jennifer's story. And when it didn't happen, the narrative took the laziest exit: career-obsessed, selfish, cold. She was the romantic heroine who somehow refused to deliver a third-act baby montage on command. Here's the part the headlines never respected. Aniston was walking through private medical decisions in real time. She was going to appointments, she was getting the blood work, she was trying, she was grieving. And still, from the outside, people felt comfortable diagnosing the problem. She's prioritizing fame, she just doesn't want it enough. Think about that. A woman navigating the most intimate kind of hope, and the world making a sport of judging her for not fulfilling a storyline they wrote. So she kept most of it quiet, because you don't owe a press release for every tear you cry in a bathroom stall between life and work. Infertility lives in the space between science and faith. It's counting follicles, and then counting days. It's meds that sledgehammer your body, and the clock that won't stop staring. It's the way hope becomes a habit. And Jennifer Aniston did the thing millions have done. IVF. Testing. Waiting. What most people never see is the meeting where a doctor is careful, gentle, but clear. The options are exhausted. The line you've been inching down for years, those are the moments that split time into before and after. She admitted the weird moment when it hits you. There is a hush that falls over your life when the chase is over. Not because you failed, but because the race is finished and the stadium lights turn off. That silence is terrifying. And then slowly, it can become peace. Acceptance is not surrender. It's what happens when you choose to stop bleeding out against a locked door. Here's the part that triggers comment sections. If biology didn't work, why didn't she just adopt? Because she didn't want to. That's it. Not a manifesto against adoption. Not a criticism of the parents who do it. Just a boundary. That path isn't mine. And that should be enough. We've turned just adopt into a catch-all solution for grief we don't want to sit with. Adoption is beautiful and hard. It's not a consolation prize. It's not a neat fix for a shattered dream. It's its own calling with its own paperwork, timelines, challenges, and profound joys, and it deserves to be chosen for itself, not drafted in to tidy up somebody else's disappointment. When Aniston said, "I wanted my own DNA," she wasn't devaluing anyone else's map, she was reading her own. And the truth is, wanting a biological child is not a moral failing. It's a longing. Some people move through it. Some redefine family. Some try adoption and glow. Some don't. That spectrum is human, not selfish. We talk about parasocial relationships like it's a media theory. In practice, it's simple. You spend years with an actress in your living room, and some part of your brain tells you you're friends. Friends ask questions, right? Friends are invested, right? Except you're not in the room when she gets the phone call. You're not at the appointment. You're not paying the price for another round of hormones or another maybe next time. You're just online, where curiosity is cheap and opinions are free. And so the myths took root. She chose career over kids. She's too picky. She's protecting her body. She finally swatted that away. They didn't know her story. They didn't know what she was doing for 20 years to pursue a family. Because why would she broadcast her medical chart to people who'd turn it into a poll? What makes her words land with such authority now is that she refused to perform sorrow for us. She didn't come here for pity points. She came here to name a reality. Not having kids doesn't make you less loving, less woman, less whole. We've been handed a social script that reads like a checklist. School, job, love, wedding, baby too, happily ever after. Somewhere along the way, we learned to treat any deviation like a wrong turn. Jennifer Aniston has spent years rewriting that idea in real time. Friendships as family, dogs as sole companions, godmother duties done with pride, a career that still sparks, a home that's warm, a life that's hers. Child-free isn't always child-free by choice. Sometimes it's child-free by outcome. And still, a life can be luminous. There are mornings that begin with coffee on the patio in absolute quiet. There are late-night dinners with friends who've known every chapter. There are scripts that challenge. There are charities that light you up. There's the freedom to throw a bag in the car, take the long way down the coast, and call that a perfect day. Aniston's message doesn't diminish motherhood. It removes the implied asterisk from womanhood. She's saying, there are many ways to be complete. If you've ever loved someone navigating fertility landmines, you know words can either salve or salt the wound, so let's throw a few phrases overboard. You can always adopt. It flattens adoption into a plan B and bulldozes personal boundaries. Have you tried? They have tried. More than you think. It'll happen when you stop trying. Biology doesn't care about cute superstition. Why didn't you start earlier? Because life is not a conveyor belt, and hindsight shouldn't masquerade as help. It's selfish not to. No. Better language sounds like this. I'm listening. How can I support you? Do you want company for the appointment? Do you want to talk about something else? We don't need magic answers. We need less fixing and more presence. And when someone states their boundary, adoption isn't my path, you don't need to debate it. You honor it. There's a cost to being a projection screen. She let the public write and rewrite her story until the story took on a life. But there's also a cost to constantly correcting it. At a certain point, you decide which cost you can live with. In midlife, with the searching mostly behind her, Aniston reached for the microphone. Not to win an argument, to hand the rest of us a little relief. It's one thing to accept reality in private. It's another to say it into the world that misread you. That takes courage. It also shifts the conversation for millions of women who have been carrying a quiet ache while being told to smile and just try this clinic. Her clarity is a permission slip. You don't owe anyone a path that isn't yours. Not your family, not your social circle, and definitely not a comment section. When she says, it wasn't in the plan, whatever the plan was, there's a soft laugh under the line. That laugh doesn't erase grief. It's the sound of someone who decided to build a life around the pain, not inside of it. What changes after a statement like this? For starters, the baby watch headlines should age out. The breathless speculation can retire gracefully. And for anyone who has felt less than because biology said no, or boundaries said no, this is your reminder. You are not a half story waiting on a plot twist. You are the plot. Jennifer Aniston didn't craft a shiny moral. She modeled a boundary. She didn't pitch adoption as a consolation. She refused to treat it like one. She didn't pretend IVF was just a chapter. She told the truth about final pages. And then she did the bravest, simplest thing a public person can. She let her no stand without apology. If you needed someone to say it first, let her words be your cover. Your family can look like the people who sit at your table, the dogs who race to your door, the work that wakes up your brain, the friends who remember your coffee order, the nieces and nephews who think you're magic, and the quiet you cultivate in a home that finally feels like yours. You don't have to have it all. You're allowed to have this, the life that is possible, rich, imperfect, chosen, and that is enough.